In this video, we'll be constructing both the floor and the back wall to our alley. As a carryover from the previous movie, we'll be using a file named Bowling Alley 01. You can find it in the Working Files folder. Let's return to 4 viewports by typing Alt-W. We'll then take the top view full screen, then center our work by typing Z. Our floor will be positioned around the alley, but size-wise considerably larger. Let's zoom out, then activate the Shape Rectangle command. Starting on the upper left-hand side, dragging down to the lower right will make a rectangle. For the size, let's give it a length of 3000 and a width of 2000. To make sure the shape is centered in relation to the other objects in the scene, on our Move command, we'll right-click on the icon, then zero out the numbers on the left. Okay, once that's done, let's change the wireframe color of the rectangle to a light yellow. With the gutters on both sides of the alley being recessed, our floor will now need to have a cutout where the alley and gutters are positioned. To do that, let's first zoom in closer on the alley itself. That's going to be the light pink geometry. To draw our cutout line more accurately, let's now activate the Snap toggle. We can do that up in the middle of our toolbar or simply use the keyboard shortcut, the letter S. Using the snapping option, we'll want to snap only to vertex locations. To make the necessary adjustment, we'll go up to the Snap command icon, then right-click. From the Grid and Snap Settings dialog, we'll turn off grid points, activating instead Vertex. Once we've done that, we can go ahead and close the Snap dialog. Now let's zoom much closer in to the top of the bowling alley and gutters, and we'll activate our Line command. Having the Snap command activated, we'll now be able to snap directly to the vertices on the screen. Let's start our line on the far left-hand side of the gutter. When the yellow plus sign appears on your mouse on the far left side of that purple gutter, go ahead and click. This will be the location where we set our first vertex. Our next click will be on the far right-hand side of the right-hand gutter. Let's move our mouse over to that position, then click again. Now remember, you're wanting to click when you see the yellow plus sign. Wanting to head now to the opposite or lower side of the alley, we'll need to roll our wheel back. You can also push the wheel to pan around as needed. Once we're in position down at the lower side of the alley, we can set the third vertex for our line. When we have that in place, we can move to the left-hand side, setting another vertex. To close the line, we'll zoom back out, pan around, then zoom back in. When we get in position, we can connect the 2 vertices, closing the spline. Once we've done that, we can deactivate the snap by typing S. What we'll now want to do is attach the 2 shapes that we've made to represent our floor. To have the Attach command available, we'll right-click on the line we just made, converting it to an editable spline. Back in the Modify column, we'll drop down to the Attach command, then click on our original rectangle. Having our lines now connected, we're left with one shape consisting of 2 splines. That inside spline around the alley and gutters represents a nesting within our shape, meaning that once it's made 3-dimensional, we'll have a hole in the middle of our object. Making sure the Attach command has been turned off, we'll go back to our perspective view being full screen. With our shape still selected, we can now add the Extrude modifier. Having the extrude amount matching up to when we made our gutters, the number obviously is way too high. Let's take the amount down to -50. Then before moving on, we'll rename the object Floor. Okay, to create our back wall, let's return our front view full screen. Let's reactivate our Snap command so we can snap to the vertex on the left-hand side of the floor. With that in place, in the Modify column, we'll activate the Box command. Starting at the far left-hand side of the floor, let's now construct a box above the ground level. Once I've set my height, I'll let go of the mouse, push away slightly, and click again. Okay, for the dimensions, let's do this. We'll take the length of the box to 700, the width will be 2000, and why don't we take the height to 25? If we need to reposition the box in any way, go ahead and do so now. Once we've done that, let's rename the object Back Wall, then we'll return our perspective view to being full screen. We'll now need to slide the wall up into the left-hand area so it's behind the alley and the pins. Once we've done that, we can go ahead and save our scene up. This time we'll name it Bowling Alley 02. Okay, in our next video, we'll create the backboard for the alley. Let's go take a look at that.